For last approximately 2-3 days, there's this new concept which is in news, and people have started calling me and asking me, so tell us what is the digital rape, how this concept came into being, came into existence in India. Is it defined anywhere, whether it is in Indian Penal Code, POXO or CRPC, and what is the maximum punishment, minimum punishment of this kind of offense? And there are other types of questions, sir, what is the punishment if the act is done with the consent of the girl also? And there is another very important question, and if, let's say, this same offense is committed against a boy, what is the punishment in that case? Now, to answer all these questions one by one, I thought of making this video and I thought of sharing it with you guys. The first of all, please understand, the word digital rape has not been defined in Indian law. The definition is not given in Indian Penal Code under Section 375. It is not given under the POXO Act. It is also not given under the CRPC also. So the word digital rape was basically coined from the dictionary itself when 2013 amendment came into being. Before 2013, the law was different. If somebody would have committed the offense of rape, then the accused, must have used his genitalia. But there had been so many cases in India wherein the brutal rape have been committed against females, and that is why the government came with this amendment of 2013, wherein the government changed the definition of the word rape. The amendment brought new dimensions and new offenses into being. The word sexual assault and stalking and the other offenses of related to the molestation have also been incorporated. The definition has been widened, and the as far as the rape is concerned, the definition has been widened to a great extent. If earlier anybody used sexual assault against a woman and used his toes or fingers or any other part of the body except the genitalia, then the person would have committed the offense of the outraging the modesty, Section 354. But after 2013, the amendment has so changed the entire scenario. The word which have been incorporated are that if somebody penetrates the mouth, anus, urethra, or the vagina of a female using his genitalia for an object or any other part of the body, then he is now said to have committed the offense of rape. And at the same time, approximately in 2012, the new law related to the protection of the children from sexual offenses, that is the POXO Act, also came into being. And they have the complementary definition of the same, this sexual penetration and the offense of rape. And the punishment, which has used to be 7 years, maximum 7 years was the punishment of rape, was increased to a great extent. Now the minimum punishment of commission of the offense is 7 years, which is coupled with fine and which may go till the life imprisonment also. So this concept of digital rape, basically it came from the word digit. Digit in English dictionary, if you go through the word, you will find digit means toes and fingers. So if somebody uses his fingers, toes, or any other part of the body and commits the penetration, in that case, that person is said to have committed the offense of rape. And that is why this concept of digital rape came into being. And recently in Ghaziabad, one person has been arrested. There have been other cases also where people have actually been convicted of this kind of offenses. This amendment was brought to actually safeguard female by putting the fear of God in people. However, in this kind of situation, the offense, the cases which should be decreasing is not the case. The cases are either more or less same, or the number of cases have increased since 2013. Now, the question is, let's say somebody commits this offense using his fingers and toes. So what is the punishment? As I have already told you, the minimum punishment is 7 years, which can extend it up to life imprisonment, but 7 years is the benchmark. So no court can award any punishment, any imprisonment less than 7 years. Now, another question that I was asked is, let's say this same offense is committed against a male. If somebody uses his fingers, toes, or any part of the body or any foreign object to do something against a male, would he be punished with the same punishment? Would he be awarded the same punishment? Would he be again sent to the prison for the same amount of time? The answer is no. If somebody uses male genitalia and commits the sexual assault against another male, then he against that male, and that too without his consent. So in that case, although 377 has been decriminalized by the Supreme Court, quite a very landmark judgment, but that says if the act is committed by the consent of the parties, in that case no offense is made out. However, if it is against the consent, it is the without the consent of one or the other, then the section 377 would be made out and the punishment would be awarded in that section. But let's say this 376, let's talk about the offense of rape. If a male commits the same offense against another male and uses the same foreign object, or let's say the uses the fingers or toes to commit this offense, then the answer is that the offense of rape is basically not gender neutral. It is gender biased law. It is in favor of the females. Only females victims can file a complaint and can be prosecutors or the victims of this crime. No male can allege this kind of offense against another female or another male. So the answer would be no. If the offense is committed against a male, then he cannot file a complaint under section 376 against another male if he is using the digits, that is toes and fingers, to commit this kind of offense. Now, let's say another question which is being asked is, if it is done with the consent of the girl, would it still make it a crime? The answer is again no. If the consent is a valid consent and it is done with the consent of the girl, then the offense would not be made out. Now, the word consent has to be understood. Consent means, first of all, the victim, the girl has to have the legal age to give consent. That means she must be at least 18 years old before she can actually consent to this kind of acts. Second, she should be agreed to do it. And again, the third and very important thing is the consent must be a valid consent. It must not be based on any misrepresentation. It must not be based on coercion. It must not be because of any threat. It must not be because of any blackmail. It must not be because of any fraud committed upon the victim. So if the consent is not taken because of coercion, force, this threat and misrepresentation or fraud, in that case the consent would be valid and no offense would be made out. However, there have been cases where the offense is being this section is being misused against boyfriends, even some people against whom there is a revenge has to be taken, there is a vendetta. So you should be aware about these laws. You should know what constitute an offense, what is the maximum punishment or the minimum punishment in this kind of offenses, and you should be aware about where you stand if this kind of thing is alleged against you.